me. Nothing happened. That's what I don't understand. She just visits less, calls less, shares less. Margaret called her daughter every single day. She remembered every birthday, every school play, every doctor's appointment. She drove 3 hours to help when the grandchildren were sick. She was, by every measure, a devoted mother. And she was slowly losing her daughter, not because of anything she did wrong, but because of something she didn't know she was doing at all. Welcome to the Parent's Blueprint. This is the first video in a 7-part series designed to help you understand and rebuild your relationship with your adult children. In this video, we're going to look at the 4 real reasons adult children pull away from their parents. Not the reasons parents assume, the real ones. Because here's what I've learned after years of conversations with parents just like Margaret and just like you. The distance is almost never about love. There is plenty of love on both sides. The distance is about something else entirely. Reason number 1, too much presence without enough space. Margaret called her daughter every day, sometimes twice. She texted when there was no answer. She worried when she didn't hear back. And every call began the same way. I haven't heard from you. Is everything okay? To Margaret, this was love. This was care. To her daughter, it was pressure. Here's something that's hard to hear, but important to understand. Adult children need space to miss you. When you're always present, always calling, always checking, there's no space for them to feel the absence. And no absence means no longing. And no longing means visits feel like obligations, not choices. The shift isn't about loving less, it's about trusting more. Trusting that your child will reach out when they're ready, and they will if you give them room. Reason number 2, help that feels like a burden. Margaret was generous, endlessly generous. She paid for vacations. She bought things without being asked. She showed up with food when her daughter seemed tired. But here's what her daughter told me in her own words. Every time Mom helps me, I feel like I owe her something. That's not ingratitude, that's a signal. When help always comes with an invisible string, an expectation of gratitude, of closeness, of reciprocation, it stops feeling like a gift. It starts feeling like a debt. The most powerful help you can give your adult child is help with no strings attached, offered once, accepted or declined gracefully, and never mentioned again. Reason number 3, the expectations you never said out loud. This person her daughter called with good news. None of these expectations were ever spoken. They were simply assumed. And when her daughter didn't meet them, Margaret didn't say anything. She just went quiet, a little colder, a little more distant. Her daughter felt it, that cold silence after a missed Sunday. She didn't know what she'd done wrong. She just knew something was off, and she started dreading the visits because they always seemed to end with that familiar chill. Unspoken expectations are the most expensive kind. They cost you closeness, and nobody knows why. Reason number 4, replacing connection with guilt. I haven't heard from you in 2 weeks. Your brother calls every Sunday. I'm fine, don't worry about me. I don't want to bother you, you're so busy. Every one of these sentences is a guilt sentence, delivered with love, received as a weight. And here's the painful truth about that last one. I don't want to bother you. Said in that particular tone, your child hears, I respect your time. They hear, you have already failed me. Margaret didn't know she was doing this. She thought she was being honest about her feelings, and she was. But honesty delivered as guilt creates distance, not closeness. Think about it from your child's perspective. They have a full life, a demanding job, their own children to raise. They love you, genuinely, deeply, but every call ends with them feeling like they've disappointed you. And after enough calls like that, they start to dread picking up the phone. Her daughter started to feel that every conversation ended with her feeling like a bad daughter, not because she was one, but because that's how the calls felt. I spoke with Margaret again 3 weeks later. She had tried one thing, just one. Instead of calling every day, she waited 2 days, then 3. She told me it was one of the hardest things she'd ever done. It felt like I didn't care, she said, but I had to trust that she knew I was there. And when she did call, she didn't start with, "I haven't heard from you." She started with, "I was thinking about you. How are you feeling this week?" Her daughter called back within the hour. They talked for 40 minutes. At the end, her daughter said, "Mom, I miss you. Can we have dinner on Sunday?" Margaret told me she cried after she hung up, not from sadness, from relief, because she finally understood her daughter had never stopped loving her. She had just needed room to choose to show it. Margaret hadn't changed who she was. She'd changed how she reached, and that changed everything. Before you close this video, I want to give you one thing to do today, not tomorrow, today. Send your adult child a message, 3 sentences, "Thinking of you today." No need to reply, just wanted you to know. That's it. No question, no guilt, no expectation, just presence without pressure. It takes 30 seconds to send, and it plants something in your child's heart that no amount of daily calling ever could. The feeling that you see them without needing anything back. In the next video, video 2 of the Parent's Blueprint, I'm going to show you the exact words that create invisible walls between you and your adult child. 7 phrases. You've said all of them, and I'll show you what to say instead. If this video helped you, share it with one parent who needs it, and leave a comment below. Which of these 4 reasons felt most familiar to you? I'm Solon Voss. Take care of yourself and take care of the people you love. If you found this message helpful, please share this video on WhatsApp with a friend who might need these words today. Sometimes a small gesture can mend a big bridge. Let's spread a little more kindness and understanding together.
You know, there comes a moment in every parent's life when you look at your adult child and think, if only they would just listen. I know exactly what they should do. But here's the hard truth many parents never hear. Once your child becomes an adult, your advice can start to feel like criticism, even when you mean it with love. And ironically, the more we try to fix their struggles, the more distance we create. Today, I want to share something tender, something many parents quietly wrestle with. Why your adult children don't want you to fix them, and what they secretly need instead. And by the end of this video, you'll understand a shift so small yet so powerful that it can transform your relationship almost overnight. I'm Solon, and for over 20 years, I worked with families, parents in their 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s, who were trying to build healthier, closer relationships with their grown children. I've seen what works, and I've seen what pushes kids away. And I want to share with you the lessons and real stories that have brought the most healing, the most trust, and the most connection. Let me begin with a story about a father named Ray, who was 72 when I met him. Ray was a fixer by nature, retired engineer, logical, practical. If there was a problem, he had a solution, usually within 30 seconds. His daughter, Emily, was 41 at the time, newly divorced, overwhelmed, trying to manage her kids, her job, her life. Every time she called him to vent about money, about the kids, about the stress, Ray jumped straight into problem-solving mode. Here's what you need to do. You should stop doing that. Why aren't you saving more? Well, that's your mistake right there. He didn't mean to sound harsh. For him, this was love. But one day, After he gave her yet another 10-minute lecture, she went quiet. Very quiet. "Dad," she said softly, "I'm not asking you to fix anything. I just want you to listen." He told me those words hit him like a punch to the chest. He said, "I thought I was helping. I thought I was being a good father. I didn't know my solutions were pushing her away." And then he said the sentence I will never forget. "I didn't realize she didn't need my answers anymore. She just needed me." That was the moment everything changed. Using Clay's formula: situation. Your child grows up, builds a life, faces challenges, sometimes big ones. As parents, you still see the little kid you once guided through everything: scraped knees, homework, heartbreaks. Desire. You want to protect them. You want their life to be easier than yours. And deep down, you want to feel useful, needed, valued. That desire comes from love. But here's where things get tangled. Adults don't want to be fixed, even by the people they love most. When you jump in with solutions, they may feel judged, dismissed, incapable, or like you don't trust them to handle their own life. It's not that they don't want you, it's that they want a different kind of support. And the change is surprisingly simple. Shift from fixing to supporting, from solving to listening, from instructing to understanding. This doesn't mean you stay silent forever. It just means you wait until your words are actually wanted and therefore welcomed. Result: when parents make this shift, 3 things happen. Adult children open up more, not less. Conversations become calmer, deeper, and more honest. And parents gain more influence, not through advice, but through presence. There's real science behind this. 1, adults need autonomy. According to research from the University of Rochester, adults thrive when they feel autonomy, the sense of being capable and in control of their own decisions. Unsolicited advice, even well-intentioned, threatens that autonomy. The brain interprets it as, "They don't think I can figure this out." 2, listening reduces stress hormones. A study from Harvard found that being heard activates the same reward centers in the brain as receiving money. Listening literally calms the nervous system. That's why your adult child often feels better after talking to you, unless the conversation turns into directions and corrections. And 3, emotional support strengthens bonds. The American Psychological Association notes that emotional validation, phrases like, "That sounds hard," or "I'm here for you," increases trust and reduces conflict significantly. Validation, not instruction, creates closeness. Here are 3 specific ways you can apply this with your adult children. 1. Replace "here's what you should do" with "do you want my advice or just a listening ear?" This one sentence alone can transform the entire dynamic. It gives them choice, it respects their adulthood, and it keeps you from crossing emotional boundaries. 2. Respond with empathy first, always. Try simple phrases like, "That sounds exhausting," or "I can see why you'd feel that way. I'm glad you told me." These phrases land like a warm blanket instead of cold instructions. And 3, be their safe place, not their supervisor. Your adult child already has bosses, coworkers, bills, pressures, responsibilities. What they want from you is comfort, steadiness, understanding, not another source of judgment or critique. The son who stopped calling. A mother told me her 35-year-old son rarely called anymore. When he finally opened up, he said, "Mom, every time we talk, I feel like I'm being corrected." Once she shifted from fixing to listening, he began calling every week, sometimes twice. It wasn't advice he needed. It was acceptance. The daughter who said, "You don't trust me." One woman complained her daughter never shared personal struggles. But when she asked why, her daughter answered, "Because you always take over. Because you always tell me what I should have done. Because it feels like you think I'm failing." That mother cried. She had no idea. Today, she practices simply listening, and the relationship is warmer than it's been in decades. And the parent who became the safe haven. A father in his late 60s told me, "I used to think my job was to teach. Now I know my job is to love." His adult son, going through job loss and depression, said, "Dad, I don't need you to fix anything. Just be there." And he was. That emotional presence helped rebuild his son's confidence far more than any advice ever could. So here's the heart of today's message. Your adult children don't need you to fix their life. They need you to walk beside them in it. They need your warmth, your patience, your encouragement, your presence, and your belief in them. Not solutions, but connection. When you stop trying to fix everything, something beautiful happens. They start trusting you again. They start sharing again. They start coming closer, not pulling away. Because what heals relationships between parents and adult children isn't advice. It's love. Simple, steady, non-judgmental love. If this message touched you, please like this video, share it with another parent who might need it, and subscribe for more warm, thoughtful conversations every week. You're doing better than you think, and it's never too late to start a new chapter with the people you love.
There are words that sting, and then there are words that echo. If you're a parent over 60, you may know exactly what I mean. It's not always the angry words that hurt the most. Sometimes it's the quiet ones, the casual ones, the words your adult child says without realizing how deeply they land. Or worse, the words they don't say at all. Today, I want to talk about those unspoken words, the ones adult children say or imply that hurt parents more than they will ever know. Not to place blame, but to bring understanding and maybe a little healing. For many years, I've listened to parents reflect on their relationships with adult children, not in moments of conflict, but in moments of quiet honesty, in retirement communities, in counseling offices, in conversations that begin with, "I don't think they meant it, but it still hurt." Psychologists remind us that parents never stop being emotionally sensitive to their children, even when those children are grown. This story is drawn from that truth. Robert was 74 when he first noticed the silence. It wasn't sudden, it crept in slowly. His daughter still called, still visited on holidays, still smiled and hugged him at the door, but something was missing. One afternoon, while helping her pack up to leave, Robert said gently, "You can call any time, you know." She smiled, distracted, and replied, "I know, Dad, things are just busy right now." Busy. That word stayed with him long after her car pulled away. Let's slow Robert's story down. Situation. Robert had been a steady father, not perfect, but present. Desire. He didn't need praise, he just wanted to feel included in his daughter's life. Conflict. Her words were polite but distant. kind but closed. Change. Over time, Robert began hearing meaning beneath the words. Result, and those unspoken messages hurt more than any argument ever had. The unspoken words. The first unspoken message Robert heard was, "You wouldn't understand." His daughter never said it outright, but she stopped sharing details. When Robert asked questions, she gave summaries, not stories. Psychologists call this emotional filtering, when adult children protect themselves by withholding depth. To Robert, it felt like being quietly dismissed. The second unspoken message was, "You're no longer essential." She didn't mean it cruelly, she simply didn't need advice anymore, didn't ask for help, didn't lean on him the way she once had. Research shows that parents often experience a loss of identity when adult children stop needing them, even when the relationship is healthy. Robert felt useful but not needed, and that hurt more than he expected. The third unspoken message was, "I don't want to disappoint you." When his daughter avoided certain topics, relationships, struggles, doubts, Robert assumed she didn't trust him. In truth, she was protecting him. But silence often sounds like rejection to a parent's heart. The fourth unspoken message was, "You had your chance." This one hurt the most. It appeared in small comments. "You wouldn't do things that way now. Times were different back then." She wasn't accusing him. She was drawing a line between generations. But Robert heard finality, as if his role had quietly expired. The fifth unspoken message was, "I'm closer to others now." Robert noticed it during gatherings. Inside jokes he wasn't part of, stories he hadn't heard. He smiled, he stayed quiet, but inside he grieved something no one else could see. The sixth unspoken message was the hardest of all. "I don't need to explain myself to you anymore." Boundaries are healthy. Independence is necessary. But when explanation disappears completely, parents can feel shut out of their child's inner world. Robert didn't want control. He wanted connection. Research in family psychology helps explain this pain. According to studies on intergenerational relationships, adult children often reduce emotional sharing, not out of resentment, but out of self-protection. Meanwhile, parents interpret that reduction as emotional loss. Both experiences are valid. Neuroscience also shows that emotional bonds between parents and children remain active throughout life. The brain doesn't outgrow attachment. So when connection changes, parents don't just notice it, they feel it physically. This isn't weakness, it's biology. One evening, Robert sat alone with the realization that hurt wasn't helping him. So he tried something different. The next time his daughter visited, he didn't ask questions, he didn't hint, he didn't reach for reassurance. He simply said, "I want you to know I'm always here if you want to share. No expectations, no guilt, no pressure." Something shifted. Weeks later, she called unexpectedly, not to report, not to update, just to talk. Robert learned something important. When parents release the need to be included, children often step closer on their own. If you're a parent watching this and feeling quietly hurt by your adult child's words or lack of them, please remember this. Distance doesn't always mean rejection. Silence doesn't always mean indifference. Adult children are often trying to survive their own lives, not push you out of them. And if you're an adult child watching this, know this too. Your parents may not say it, but your words and your silences still matter deeply. A simple call, a shared story, an honest sentence. These small bridges mean more than you realize. Families don't break most often from anger. They drift from misunderstanding. And understanding begins when we listen, not just to what is said, but to what is felt beneath it. If this story resonated with you, please like this video, share it with someone who might need it, and subscribe for more reflections on family, aging, and emotional truth. Because sometimes the words we never say carry the greatest weight of all.
If you've ever looked at your adult child and thought, why don't they open up to me anymore? Why are our conversations so shallow? You're not alone. Most emotional distance in families doesn't come from big fights or major betrayals. Instead, it often comes from small phrases spoken years ago that made a child learn to close their heart for protection. And today, I want to tell you a story about a mother and her grown son. A story that reveals the 3 phrases that quietly shut children down and how understanding them can restore connection at any age. I'm Solon, and I've spent years talking with family counselors, adult children and parents in their 60s, 70s, and 80s who want to make sense of the emotional patterns in their families. And over, one truth keeps showing up. Love isn't lost. It just gets buried under words we didn't know could wound. Let me tell you about Ellen, a 74-year-old mother and her son Daniel, who's 45. Now, Ellen wasn't a harsh parent. She wasn't cruel or neglectful. She was simply raised in a generation where feelings were optional and survival was the priority. Growing up, she worked from age 12, took care of siblings, lived through economic hardship, and learned one rule: push your feelings down and keep moving. So by the time she had children of her own, she loved them deeply, but she didn't always speak in a way that made them feel safe opening up. For years, she wondered, why doesn't Daniel tell me anything personal? Why does he sound distant on the phone? Why does he share more with his wife than with me? And then one afternoon, during a quiet walk in a park, something happened that changed everything. She asked her son gently, "Why don't you open up to me more?" His response revealed the 3 phrases that had shut him down without her ever realizing it. And those are the same 3 phrases many adult children hear and carry into adulthood. Let's go deeper into their story, using the framework situation, desire, conflict, change, result. Number 1, situation. As a child, Daniel adored his mother. He followed her around, helped her bake, wrote her little notes. But as he grew, he stopped sharing his feelings, his stress, and eventually even his achievements. To Ellen, it felt like he outgrew her emotionally. To Daniel, it felt like he had to protect himself. They both wanted the same thing: connection, honesty, closeness. But they had different pathways to get there. Ellen believed closeness came from strength and guidance. Daniel believed closeness came from being heard without judgment. The real problem wasn't bad parenting. It was mismatched emotional language. There were 3 phrases Ellen said throughout his childhood, casually, even lovingly, that made Daniel silently close the doors of his heart. And when he explained them, Ellen didn't defend herself. She didn't argue. She listened. And listening became the first step in healing. Today, their relationship looks completely different. Not perfect, no family is, but warmer, more honest, more connected. Because once you understand the phrases that shut a child down, you also learn how to open them back up. And now, I want to share the 3 phrases that appeared in their story. Phrase number 1, "You're fine, stop crying." This was Ellen's go-to phrase. She didn't mean harm. To her, crying meant weakness. To Daniel, crying meant, I need connection. According to research published by the American Psychological Association, children who have their emotions dismissed frequently develop emotional suppression, difficulty identifying their own feelings, and a tendency to withdraw rather than express. So when young Daniel heard, "You're fine," he learned, "My feelings are wrong, keep them inside." This pattern followed him into adulthood. When his wife asked how he felt, he shrugged. When work stressed him, he kept silent. And when his mother asked how he was, he gave the safest possible answer, "I'm fine." The same words she once used with him. The emotional doors closed quietly and stayed shut for years. Phrase number 2, don't be dramatic. This one was said whenever he expressed fear, anxiety, or disappointment. Once again, Ellen meant no harm. To her, she thought she was encouraging resilience. But here's the psychological truth. According to Dr. John Gottman's emotional coaching research, minimizing a child's emotional experience teaches them you won't be taken seriously, keep your inner world private. So when teenage Daniel wanted to talk about bullying at school, he didn't. When he was scared about college decisions, he handled it alone. And as an adult, he stayed emotionally self-contained. Not because he didn't trust his mother as a person, but because he had learned not to trust emotional vulnerability. When someone grows up being told, "Don't be dramatic," they internalize, "Don't be honest about your pain, it won't be received." Phrase number 3, I know what's best for you. This is the phrase that hurt the most, not because it was cruel, but because it removed Daniel's voice. It sent the message, your instincts are wrong, listen to me instead. According to studies on autonomy from the University of Rochester's self-determination theory, children who aren't allowed to express their own preferences often become emotionally shut down, hesitant to share, avoidant of conflict, and fearful of disappointing their parents. So as an adult, Daniel rarely told his mother about his decisions, not his job changes, not his financial goals, not his dreams. He had learned early, sharing invites correction. Silence felt safer.
Here's what all 3 phrases have in common. They dismiss the child's emotional reality. Research from the University of Washington shows that emotional invalidation can have long-term effects on adult relationships, including shutting down during conversations, avoiding emotional topics, and difficulty trusting others with feelings. 2, they create a survival mode communication pattern. When feelings are minimized, the brain shifts toward emotional self-protection. Harvard neuroscience studies show that children raised with emotional suppression become adults who prioritize peace over honesty, avoid conflict, hide emotional pain. And 3, they teach children to self-silence. This is the psychological term for holding emotions in so you don't burden others. And it often begins with phrases parents never realized were harmful. Now let's talk about how you can gently reopen emotional doors with your adult children. Because the goal is not to feel guilty. The goal is insight, compassion, and healing. Here's what Ellen did, and it changed everything. 1, she acknowledged the past without shame. She simply said, "Looking back, I realize I sometimes dismissed your feelings. Thank you for telling me." No excuses, no self-criticism, just truth. Psychologists call this reflective repair, and it's one of the strongest predictors of improved family connection.
2, she became curious instead of corrective. Instead of giving advice, she asked questions like, "How are you really feeling about that? What's been on your mind lately? What do you need from me right now? Listening or guidance?" This shifts communication from directive to collaborative. 3, she practiced the 3-second pause. Before responding to something emotional, she paused for 3 seconds. This small act prevents old patterns from taking over. During that pause, she reminded herself, "This is not the child I once guided. This is the adult I want to know." And 4, she replaced old habits with new healing phrases. Instead of "you're fine," she said, "Your feelings make sense to me." Instead of "don't be dramatic," she said, "Tell me more, I want to understand." Instead of "I know what's best for you," she said, "What do you feel is right?" Small changes, big healing. Most emotional distance in families doesn't come from a lack of love, it comes from a lack of emotional language. And the truth is, you cannot change the words you used 30 or 40 years ago, but you can absolutely change the words you use today. Your adult children may not open up right away. That's normal. Emotional doors that closed slowly often open slowly too. But every warm phrase, every moment of listening, every gentle acknowledgement is a hand extended across the years. And one day, you may hear something you never expected. Your child sharing something personal, something tender, something real. Not because you demanded closeness, but because you created safety. So remember these 3 harmful phrases. "You're fine," "Don't be dramatic," and "I know what's best for you." And remember the antidotes that heal. "I'm here. Tell me what you're feeling." Your emotions matter. What do you think is right for you? Love is not measured by perfection. Love is measured by willingness. And it is never too late to speak in a way that invites your children back into your heart. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe so we can help more families find their way back to each other. Because emotional healing doesn't belong to the young. It belongs to anyone brave enough to begin.
Have you ever said something out of love, only to feel a sudden distance from your adult child? You weren't trying to hurt them, but the conversation ended, colder than it began. It's one of the quiet heartbreaks of aging. You give your whole heart, but somehow, it doesn't land the way you hoped. Today, I want to gently share 3 short phrases many parents say with good intentions that can quietly damage the bond with adult children, sometimes without us even realizing it. Let's take a deep breath together and walk through them with kindness, not guilt. Because the truth is, we're all still learning. 1. I only want what's best for you. You probably said this in a moment of concern. Maybe your child made a big decision you didn't fully understand, quitting a job, marrying someone too soon, moving far away, and you said, "I only want what's best for you." But to them, it might have sounded like, "I don't trust your choices," or even, "You're disappointing me." That's never what we mean, but intent and impact aren't always the same. A softer way to speak love is this: I trust you to choose what's right for your life, and I'm always here if you need me. It says, I see you as an adult. It says, I'm still your parent, but I don't need to steer anymore. It says, my love isn't conditional, and that kind of support, it stays with them, even in silence. 2, you never call me. Oh, this one is tender. We say it with a sigh or a half laugh, but behind it is something real, loneliness. We miss them. We want to be part of their world, like we used to be. But when we say, "You never call me," what they might hear is, "You're failing as a son, as a daughter." And shame doesn't bring people closer. It pushes them further away. So here's a gentle alternative. "I love hearing your voice. It really brightens my day." Simple, warm, no guilt, just truth. You'd be surprised how often this one sentence invites them to call, not out of duty, but out of love. 3. When I was your age, we've lived through so much. We've endured wars, loss, sacrifice. We want to share the wisdom we've earned. But when we say, "when I was your age," it can sound like comparison. And in today's world, where young people already feel overwhelmed, it might feel like we're minimizing their struggles. Let's shift the tone. Try instead, "I remember facing something similar. Would you like to hear what helped me through it?" That way, it's an offering, not a lecture. It's a doorway, not a wall. And more often than not, they'll say, "Yes, tell me." Because stories connect generations more than advice ever could. Bonus phrase, "You should." Any sentence that begins with "you should" can feel like pressure, even if it's good advice. Replace it with "have you thought about?" or "what are you leaning toward?" This invites conversation, not correction. And in that space, real connection grows. So what can we do? We can remember that adult children are still growing, and so are we. We can replace judgment with curiosity, replace correction with compassion, replace guilt with grace. And when we speak with patience, something beautiful happens. They start to open up. They start to call. They start to listen, not because they have to, but because they want to. Final thought. Even a few words can build or break trust, but it's never too late to choose new ones. So if any of these phrases have slipped into your conversations, it's okay. We all have growing edges, no matter our age. What matters is not perfection, but intention. So today, maybe reach out, send a gentle message. Say, "I'm thinking of you. I'm proud of who you've become. I'm here." And then leave space. Love doesn't rush, because often the softest words echo the loudest when spoken from a heart that's still learning how to love better and deeper every day. If this message spoke to your heart, consider subscribing. Each week, we share warm, thoughtful stories to help you feel more connected to yourself, to your loved ones, and to the life you're still beautifully living. And if you'd like more heartfelt guidance, don't miss our playlist, Daily Wisdom, Life Advice for Seniors. It's filled with gentle insights to lift your spirit one video at a time.
Welcome to Elderly Wisdom Mind. I'm Mary, and I'm so grateful you're here.
And I'm John. We're just two old friends. A cup of tea, a quiet fire, and a lifetime of lessons between us. Each week we talk about the kind of things people don't always say out loud. Love, loss, hope, and everything in between.
So, wherever you are, maybe taking a walk, maybe driving home, or just sitting in silence, take a deep breath and join us for a little time with your thoughts. You know, John, I read something last week that said, the older we get, the more we realize words can't be taken back. It hit me hard, especially as a parent.
Yes, words have long shadows, don't they? They stay, even when the moment's gone. And sometimes it's not the big things we say that hurt our grown kids. It's the small ones, the careless ones.
Exactly. So today, we're going to talk about 3 words every parent should be careful with, especially when your children are adults. Because those words, they can build walls you never meant to build.
Ah, yes, the familiar one. You should have called. You should have taken that job. You should have listened to me.
3 words that sound helpful, but carry judgment. They say, I know better than you. But when our kids are grown, they don't need a teacher anymore. They need a listener. They need a home.
You're right. My son once told me, Dad, I already know what I should have done. I just needed you to say it's okay. That one line changed me. It made me realize love isn't about giving directions. It's about giving permission to be human.
That's so powerful because often love isn't about being right. It's about being safe. We can't rewrite their choices, but we can rewrite how we respond to them.
Oof. The second one, that hurts every time. I told you. It sounds like a victory, but it feels like rejection.
Right. The victory of the ego, not the heart. When we say, I told you, what we really mean is you should have listened. But what they hear is, you disappointed me.
And disappointment can echo louder than love. You know, my daughter once made a decision I didn't agree with. When it all fell apart, every part of me wanted to say, I told you.
But you didn't, did you?
No. I said, I know it hurts. I've been there too. And she cried. For the first time in a long time, she leaned on me, not away from me.
That's wisdom right there. Sometimes love means swallowing your I told you so and just saying, come here. Because that's what love sounds like after 60.
Ah, yes. The famous accusation. You never visit. You never call. You never think of us.
We say it because we miss them, but they hear it as blame. What we mean is, I need you. What they hear is, you're not enough.
Exactly. And guilt never builds closeness. It builds distance. Instead of, you never call, try, I'd love to hear your voice.
Yes. When you replace blame with longing, you show your heart, not your hurt.
Beautiful. Because at this stage of life, connection matters more than being right, and peace matters more than pride.
You know, John, parenting grown children is a strange kind of love story. It's learning to care without controlling, to guide without grabbing, to love without strings.
We used to hold their hands to keep them safe. Now, we hold our tongues to keep the relationship safe.
That's one of my favorite things you've ever said, because sometimes silence isn't distance, it's wisdom.
Exactly. We've learned that the loudest love is often the quietest one.
And in the end, the words we choose either open doors or close hearts. Choose them like they matter, because they do.
So if you remember anything from today, remember this. Say, I'm proud of you. Say, I'm here. Say, I love you.
And leave out the rest, because one day you'll look back and you'll be grateful you chose love over being right.
Beautifully said.
And maybe that's the real secret to staying close to our children. Never stop choosing gentleness, even when it's hard.
Well said, my friend. Well said.
If this conversation touched your heart, share it. Send it to a friend, a parent, or even your own child.
And if you'd like to spend more evenings like this with us, subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Mind wherever you listen.
Because every week we talk about what it really means to grow older and grow wiser.
Until next time, take care of yourself and the ones you love. There is a kind of pain that feels especially confusing. It comes from someone you love deeply, someone you raised, someone you would still protect without hesitation. And yet, their words hurt you. Not loudly, not cruelly, just enough to stay with you long after the conversation ends.
If you're a parent whose adult child has said something that quietly broke your heart, this story is for you. Over the years, many older parents have shared this same question. What am I supposed to do with these feelings? They don't want to argue. They don't want to guilt their children. They don't want to create distance. They just want to stop hurting. Psychologists who study parent-adult-child relationships say this is one of the most common and least talked about emotional struggles in later life. This story puts words to that silence. Robert was 74 when it happened. It wasn't a fight. That's what made it worse. His daughter had called on a Sunday evening. The conversation was short, rushed, really. Before hanging up, she sighed and said, "Dad, I just don't have the energy for this right now." She didn't yell. She didn't insult him. But the words landed heavily. That's what she called their conversation. Robert smiled politely, said he understood, and wished her a good night. Then he sat alone in his kitchen long after the call ended. He replayed the moment again and again. Was he a burden? Too needy? Too much? He hadn't asked for anything special, just a few minutes of connection. What made